So we will continue our discussion. So last time we discussed on the modes of representation. We have inactive, so seeing a real experience. The iconic is seeing the big picture. You are to draw, and the symbolic is you are to put in language, or abstract to form it, to make it the exact right words and symbol to express your thoughts. So these are the three. We have inactive, iconic representation, and symbolic representation. So now we will discuss the discovery learning. So, learning discovery learning, it was introduced by Jerome Bruner as a method of inquiry-based instruction. When we say inquiry-based instruction, is you let the, it is a specific to generalization. So, inquiry is you are to let the students explore and then make a result and make a conclusion. Pero all remember, when making inquiry-based instruction is you have to have the foundation on the things that the needs of the student. So, katong mga basic foundations sa estudyante. So, this theory is popular theory that encouraged the learners to build on the past experience, the knowledge, the use of their institution, the imagination, the creativity, the search for new discovery facts, correlation for a new truths. So, again, we have discovery learning. It is an active process to construct a new idea or a process based on the prior knowledge. So, again, balik ka sa unsa imong na-discuss or unsa imong foundation or unsa imong nahibalan last. So, it also, learning does not have equal absorbing what they said or read, but they are seeking for answer and solution. So, dili lang ingon nga you are to get the idea, nakabalo na ka, pero but as much as possible, you need to get the truth or the answer in discussing. So, what are the five principles of discovery learning? So, number one is problem solving. So, this discovery learning mode integrates the five principles. Number one is problem solving. So, kani siya is the instruction as kani siya we are to discuss as a teacher, as a future educator. Unsaon nato na siya para ma-cater nato atong estudyante. So, the instruction should guide and motivate the learners to seek for a solution by combining existing and newly acquired information and simplify the knowledge. This way, the learners are driving force behind the learning, take an active role, and establish a broader application for the skills through activities that encourage the risk, problem solving, and probing. So, kanya siya is one of the characteristic is we as a teachers, we are to motivate, we are to seek the solution para unsa ang knowledge niya sa previous ma-apply niya sa bago. So, present an activity, make an activity that lingers to the problem solving na let the student or let their pupil think critically. So, para maingganyo pud sila magbuhat. Next is the learner management. So, the learner management, the instructor or the teachers should allow the participants to work either alone or with others. And they learn on their pace, on pace ba sila. This is flexible makes the learner exact opposite for a static sequencing of the lesson activities. Reveals that the learners from unnecessary stress and makes them feel their own learning. So, direction activity is you are to explore unsa kaganahan, asa kaganahan na possible na maka-learn kag maayo. Pwede ba ikaw ra, or pwede ba nakay group of people, maghimo mo sa inyong project or maghimo mo sa inyong discovery, or pwede pud group. For kaya siya gina-discourage ang sequencing nga activity nga magfollow ta sa lesson man kanang old nga sa nga lesson pa na you are to follow the step by step process. So dili na siya maayo nga practice. So as much as a learner, it is better that you are to explore asa mo ganahan. Mag-music ba mo? So, I have one friend sa una kay mag-music ka na siya, dili siya magtuon sa ihang modules. Kaya pag human niya, mag-music ka na siya, 30 minutes before the exam, he was able to answer the kuan kay maminaw sa music. Ma-remember naman dahil niya na uy, mauni ang mga magawas sa mga activity. So, learners at your own pace, kamo bahala ang sa mong ganahan. So, sa ako na cases, I study alone, I read alone, and kung I have time, I also contact my fellow friends nga. Kung we have a same purpose is we talk one by one para makabalutod din na there is saktong interaction between them. Next, we have the integrating and connecting. So, from the word, how can you solve the problem para makuha ninyo ang best result? So, as a teacher, you should teach the learners how to combine the prior knowledge with the new one. Encourage them to connect to the real world. Familiar the scenarios and became the basis of new information. Next is encourage the learners to extend what they know and invent something new. So how can dili lang ingon when you make or when you go into the future, one thing I learned is you are to not to get integrate and you need to get contact. So as much as possible, you have na kay something mga mentor kani buhata kani. So sa case na siya is hinay-hinay nga hayahay kay mo sa work or hayahay kay mo sa inyong trabaho or sa inyong pag-eskwela if you have a mentor na mo who has the same problem with you. So next is the information analysis and interpretation. So discovery learning is process oriented and not a content oriented. So it is a process. So hinay-hinay. Then it is based on assumption that learning is not merely on facts, so dili lang siya facts, but the learners in fact learn to analyze, interpret, and acquire information rather than to memorize the correct. So in teaching TLE or in teaching APPS, dili lang ingon nga more of performance maguta. So dapat we are to focus on the things that matter most. Kanang how can you expand, how can you go on the real scenario, magamit siya sa real world. Dili lang ingon kay tungod facts, but also there is an application. Next is feedbacking. Feedbacking is siya sa feedbacking. So learner does not fail up, also failure. So learning doesn't only occur when you find the right answer. It also occurs failure. Discovery learning does not focus on finding the right end result, but also new things we discover in the process. As a teacher, it is our responsibility nga mo practice ta og feedbacking. So provide feedback since without learning is incomplete. So it is advisable kana bitaw mag-check inyong papers or mag-check kabanday mo sa mga teachers mag-check is they are to reply sa inyo ha naun sa inyong report naun sa inyong mga activity kay through that dili lang ingon sakit siya kay na feedbackan mo or na fail mo pero you are the process of learning. Then another example kasi is once you are in the field, always remember in everything you do you are learning. So dili lang na ikaw lang yung perspective kailangan na mo dili lang imuha lang idea but also you are to learn to the others. So what are its characteristics? Characteristic is sa discovery learning is number one is hands-on. As a using a discovery learning approach is you are to nindot siya kay hands-on dayon questions teachers you have to have many questions as much as possible provide hatag of questions sa mga estudyante that can be helpful in the discussion. Next is a minimal teacher environment. So, at your own pace. So, nindot pa na siya nga. You have the things that matters or the things that along the way nga you have the common grounds, you have the purpose nga to interact with each other. Next is last memorization. So in teaching tele dili siya kailangan og memorize. So kung gina-lesson jud na siya kay focus on the skills and how the student create a problem, how the student solve the problem, how to create the skills, and also focus on listening. So as a teacher, one of the requirements jud ani is you are to engage in kuan kanang mga fallacies, mga philosophies, kay along the way dili lang ang isa ka tinuod is absolute. Ang true is not an absolute. Mag-change din po siya. It depends. So, next is what is the teacher preparation need as a teacher? What preparation needed for a teacher? So, one of the things na kuan kay challenging jud kayo is sa teacher. Number one is find an activity. So, kani jud ang pinaka-crucial kay unsaon na to pag base sa ilahang kuan sa unsay mga activity kay kailangan man jud ka maguluhon ang unsay mga activity sa imong mga estudyante para ma-engage ang discovery. Next is gather the materials. Yes, na kay activity na i-collect mo ang materials para ihatag nimo sa ilahadit para maka-explore sila. Then facilitate. So one of the major role of a teacher in a discovery learning is you are to facilitate the needs. Then record the process and the result. So as much as possible kung pangitaan para ready ka in all aspects need to record the results. And next is feedbacking one-on-one sa imong estudyante and also allow entry. So allow retry. So dili sala ang mo ma out or dili okay ra na siya nga babagsak, okay ra na siya basta as long as nag-learn kasi imong mga mistakes or others. So what are the limitations of the discovery? So number one is cognitive overload. So kana jud no, overloaded na kayo with information. The instruction needed to be well prepared. O kana po isa ka challenge sa teacher is instruction need to be well prepared and anticipate the question that many daghan kayo question that may be seen and able to provide to the right answer. Then the weaker the student fall behind. So karamihan is ang students is mag-fall behind siya kay tungod lagi labi na ang mga low learners, low average ng mga estudyante kay ma-fall behind kay maglisod sila unsaon nila pag-comprehend. So that is the end of our discussion. In class, find time to check your Google Drive. I already uploaded the materials, the activity that we are to discuss, that you are to answer, and you are to make. It is a group activity. Then focus on the problem itself and make the problem works for you. Okay? Sige. Thank you. God bless.